Have you ever gone on a trip, looked up at the skies, see the stars, and wonder what it would look like through a telescope? But bringing a telescope is kind of a pain if it isn't a trip dedicated to astrophotography or astronomy. So this is the story of my trip to the Florida Keys with my family to go snorkeling and fishing. There are parts of the Keys that are very dark. A couple of months ago, I got a DWARF Mini telescope from DwarfLabs to review, after my YouTube and Buy Me a Coffee members approved the review. Can I get a decent image with a telescope? Where should I go in the Keys to get the best image? And will the weather cooperate? Welcome to Deep Sky Detail. So in about 1 hour, I'm going to be leaving for the Keys, and I'm going to be taking the DWARF Mini. I don't have a lot of space in my car, and I think the DWARF Mini is kind of perfect for going to the Keys because it takes the box is like really small, and it takes up very little space. As we traveled to the Keys, we went through some intense thunderstorms as we reached the Miami area. So while we're stuck in the thunderstorms, let's talk a bit about the smart telescope that I'm taking on the trip. The DWARF Mini is a smart telescope, meaning everything you really need to start imaging is self-contained in it. The mount, the camera, filter, and lens. You pair it with a smartphone and can control everything with your smartphone. I've also got the DWARF Mini tripod. The scope itself retails for around $420, and the tripod is around $89 US. Both are very compact, and you can easily hold the telescope in your hand by itself. The tripod is good quality and allows you to polar align the scope for longer exposures. If you have your own sturdy standard tripod, you can attach it to that to do polar alignment too. As we got out of Miami and into the Keys, the weather cleared up a bit, and I was hoping it would be a good sign, but it is summer in Florida, and that means rain, clouds, and thunderstorms pretty much every day. But once we got there, we did do some kayaking as a family, and I was able to put my dog Frosty on the kayak. She's a good dog. I think she liked it. Bonus is that she didn't flip us over. Okay, so we got here this evening. It's really nice here. We're sort of in a houseboat. I don't know if you can see. It has been cloudy tonight, so I don't think there's still lightning going on. So I don't think that I'll be able to do any astrophotography tonight. I'm hoping that tomorrow night it'll be clear, but we'll see. We're in Bortle 4 zone, but there's quite a bit of local light pollution. So if I go down to the beach, if I walk down to the beach, I think it's going to be much clearer and I can do some tests. I don't know how long these lights would stay up, but definitely where I'm at is the darkest spot, I think, of where I'm staying. But one of the things I think I would like about the DWARF Mini is that you can just set it up and, after a long day of snorkeling, do a really quick polar alignment, set it up, image for a few hours, kind of like sit underneath the stars and just look at things. So we spent the second day at Looe Key off of Big Pine Key. Looe Key is a reef a few miles offshore from the Keys. You will need a reliable boat to get there. Heading out, we took a shared charter run by Captain Hooks with a couple dozen other people. It's a good and inexpensive way to snorkel one of the best reef systems in North America, besides Belize. Because the Florida Keys are located relatively farther north than more tropical reefs, they have been spared some of the more devastating effects of warmer ocean temperatures. But they are not as healthy as they once were due to a variety of factors. NOAA predicts that by 2040 to 2050, severe coral bleaching will be an annual event in the Keys as temperatures rise, combined with other stressors.
Think we should go back? I knew it'd be terrible.
As we traveled out, the water kept getting bluer and bluer. The conditions were near perfect, warm water, virtually no current, and 80 feet visibility. As far as depth goes, Looe Key is one of the deeper reefs in the Keys. I'm not a particularly good freediver, but I can dive 20 to 30 feet, take a quick video, and come to the surface as I run out of oxygen. But as you go down farther than about 10 feet, or 3 meters, the reds and yellows become gray. In some aspects, it's kind of like astrophotography, where you need post-processing to bring out color in an image. This is a picture of one of my snorkeling guides straight from my GoPro. Notice his fins. They're vibrant yellow on the surface, but 30 feet down, and they're quite a bit muted. So forgive me if my color correction in this video is a bit off, and don't be surprised if going to Looe Key it's not as colorful as what you see in pictures. That's one reason you may want to take a flashlight with you even in the daytime to help out bring more color if you do free dive or go scuba diving. Unfortunately, I didn't have a light, so my footage here kind of suffers. So here's my video of the same spot as the snorkeling guide. Underneath that rock is a moray eel. Pretty cool. On the second dive, we saw these guys. I think they're Caribbean reef sharks. I dove down to get a closer look. When I surfaced, I think I heard someone who was watching me say, "That was stupid," to their partner, thinking that I was putting myself in danger. While I don't disagree with my fellow snorkelers' assessment of my intellect, sharks like this on the reef are generally not interested in you, and this one couldn't care less about me. I maintained my distance and didn't harass it. They are beautiful creatures. We just got done off of Looe Key, which I think is one of the best places to snorkel in the United States. But today we saw a few sharks, some rays, moray eel. So it is cloudy again, so I don't know if I'll be able to shoot anything tonight, but we'll see. Maybe it'll clear up later tonight. I was thinking, instead of going to this beach that's where we're at, we are at Marathon Key, which is right next to the 7 Mile Bridge. And I was looking at different light pollution maps, and the sky quality meter for around Bahia Honda Key, right after the 7 Mile Bridge, after you go to Marathon, is like 21, which according to a Bortle scale is probably about a Bortle 1. But on lightpollutionmap.info, it's saying it's a Bortle 4. But in either case, it's better than what it is here. So I was thinking maybe you could go down to the 7 Mile Bridge and kind of shoot around there. The 7 Mile Bridge connects Knights Key, one of the islands that makes up the city of Marathon, with Little Duck Key. It's actually a bit shorter than 7 miles, but people like to exaggerate how long things are, so I'll allow it. When it was built, it was one of the longest bridges. There are actually 2 bridges. The newest one was built in the 1980s, and the original that was built in 1912 is part of Henry Flagler's Overseas Railroad. If things clear up, then hopefully I'll be able to image from the far side of the bridge tonight. And luckily, it did clear up a bit. We've got a little bit of a clear sky, so we're going across the 7 Mile Bridge. We're going to see how, what this thing can do under dark skies. So as we were driving across the 7 Mile Bridge the first night, we could see the clouds all around us, except for in the south. So I decided that M20, also known as the Trifid Nebula, would be a good target. I was hoping to get an hour of imaging time in. Okay, so it's getting cloudy fast. We just got to the 7 Mile Bridge. We're at the other end of it, and we'll probably set up really quickly. And so I've got it tracking the Trifid Nebula. I got it polar aligned. It's actually really quite dark here. We got out of the car and we could immediately see the Milky Way, and there's quite a bit of structure. So I would say that it's probably in between a Bortle 1 and a Bortle 4. I can't tell for sure. It is a bit cloudy. There's lightning in the distance, but to the south, it's clear. The nebula is one object that I really can't get a good view of from my house because it is in the very southern sky where trees block the view. I got the flashlight on it right now. We've just got it in the parking lot on the side of the bridge. and it is tracking. We will see. Hopefully we can get a good image already. Like this image, I don't know if you can see it on my phone. This is actually, I think, better than what I get at home, and it's only been like a minute. So yeah, hopefully we can get maybe a good 30 minutes to an hour on this object, and we'll see what it's like. Okay, see you in a little bit. It's been about 15 minutes. The image is really good. You can kind of see it here, but the clouds have started to move in, so I can no longer see the core of the Milky Way. And I feel like if I keep imaging, I'm just going to be getting cloudy data. It might clear up later tonight, but we don't really have that much time. We're going to be doing a lot of stuff tomorrow. So I'm not going to risk it. And we're just going to head back to our Airbnb and maybe try tomorrow night or the next night, depending on what the weather does. I only ended up getting 15 minutes of data from that night of imaging. The DWARF Mini itself has a 30 millimeter diameter lens, or about 1.2 inches. The telephoto lens clocks in at f5, and it has a relatively small IMX662 sensor that is 1920 by 1080 pixels. The pixel size is 2.9 microns, so putting it all together, you're imaging at 4 arc seconds per pixel, which can make your images look soft. It makes the stars look a little bit bigger than in a scope that is well sampled. Don't get me wrong, I love being able to set this thing up basically anywhere and take images of space, but I think one of the biggest problems with smart scopes in general is that you're going to have to sacrifice something to get something good at this price point. All the smart scopes in this price range suffer from undersampling. So if you're looking at this versus something like the Seestar S30, they're both undersampled with their telephoto lenses. What this telescope excels at is portability and ease of use. For something you can set up and use in under 5 minutes, it really does a good job. Last night we ended up getting 15 minutes on the Trifid Nebula, which is better than I thought we would get. I think tonight it's forecast to be rainy, but tomorrow night we might get something. I'll be going fishing today with my younger son because he wanted to go fishing. And we will see if we can get some more time on the Trifid Nebula tomorrow night. And then hopefully we can get a decent image out of it. So our fishing charter was canceled because not enough people signed up. That's the risk of going to the Keys in August, the hottest, most humid month of the year in Florida. There aren't as many tourists like me to fill up every boat, so I bought a rod, some frozen shrimp and bait, and took my son fishing on kayaks around the mangroves where we were staying. We caught 4 fish. Only one of them was big enough to eat, a mangrove snapper, but we had a really good time. Later, my wife and I went to Pigeon Key, which you get to by walking 2 miles on the old 7-mile bridge. It was hot and humid, and I thought we might get a sunstroke. They do have a trolley ride that you can use, but you have to pay for it, and I highly recommend it. We took it on the way back. Good morning. It's our last day here. Yesterday it was cloudy the whole time. We did go to the 7-mile bridge to Pigeon Key after I went fishing. We're trying to go to Pennekamp today to go snorkeling off the reef there in Key Largo. I'm not sure it's going to work because I don't know if you can hear it, but it is raining and they're saying it might thunder and lightning while we're there. So if that happens, I expect that the trip will be canceled, but we'll see. Hopefully it might clear up tonight. John Pennekamp State Park is in Key Largo. They do snorkeling trips too. Unfortunately, the water was not quite as clear compared to Looe Key. In general, I think that the water is usually clearer in Key Largo. Snorkeling there was still fun, but it was cut short. Clouds and lightning rolled in and we had to leave early by about 30 minutes. Okay, so we went to Key Largo today, did some snorkeling, got a little bit rained out, came back and did some fishing, and it is kind of cloudy right now, but part of the sky is clear, so I'm going to take my family out to the end of the 7-mile bridge, and we're going to look at the stars a little bit as much as we can. We'll see what happens. Okay, I'm here at the 7-mile bridge, and it is dark. There are some clouds around us, and I'm going to set up my little DWARF Mini, and we're going to see if we can get some more imaging time of the Trifid Nebula. And I'm sorry it's dark. I've just got a GoPro. I don't have any light. It's been a long walk. My son's got the light on me. I've got the DWARF Mini here. We're going to polar align this thing and start taking some 30-second exposures of the Trifid Nebula. Okay, so let's get this set up. So equatorial mode allows us to do a polar alignment. It's gonna, you see it's telling me to rotate the tripod. It says clockwise by about 8 degrees and tilt upward by about 9 degrees. So that's what I needed. Okay, we've got everything polar aligned. I think 2 degrees is fine. We're gonna start taking a shot of the Milky Way. Let's see. I'm going to use the wide camera first. Let's see what the wide camera can do with the wide camera. Oh, look at that. I ended up getting 5 minutes with the wide field camera of the Milky Way. For some reason, the subframes were not tracked. Probably because I didn't tell the DWARF Mini to track anything. That's my fault for rushing. I used all auto settings and it took 15-second images at 60 gain. And this is that image. Right now it's tracking M20, which is the Trifid Nebula, at 30 seconds apiece. And the first image is going to come in right about now. There we go. This little eye. And there it is right in the center. And last time we were here, we got about 15 minutes. Maybe we can get a little bit more tonight. See what my family says. Maybe there. But we've got it set up. It took me, I don't know, how long? 5 minutes to set up. And we're already kind of just playing around with it with a wide shot of the Milky Way. So we've broken our records. We've got 15 minutes and 30 seconds on it. So we broke our record from the previous night. We'll probably head in soon because bugs are eating us and feel like clouds are moving in, but they'll give us at least 30 minutes of data on this object. It looks like we left just in time because right as we got on the bridge, it started raining. And with that, our Keys trip came to an end. We left around 10 a.m. the next day. I ended up combining both nights of data from N20. I had to throw away several frames from clouds, so all in all, I only had less than 30 minutes of data. But it's at times like this where you realize not everything is about total imaging time, or SNR, or resolution. Sometimes it's about sitting under the stars, showing your family the Milky Way, and enjoying each other's company. We live in a beautiful world. We really do. Thanks for watching.